Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to 8-Bit Chazzy. However, as you may have noticed, I am doing this video in my regular background here, you know, in the regular place that I normally record all of my vlogs. I am no longer going to be doing the 8-Bit Chazzy videos in my room where I used to back in the past, you know, trying to set it up with the computer and the screen, you know, for a number of reasons. The main one is that it takes too long to set up, you know, it's a lot of work and it never comes out the way that I want to, and the lighting in my room, like I said in my last review doing Cuphead, you know, the lighting in my room is very crappy whenever I try to use it, you know, and even though the idea is good to try to put a background behind me showing off the game that I'm reviewing and all of that, you know, putting flowers and decorations. The idea was always good, but because the lighting never really agrees with me and some of the videos have come out very crappy in the past, I'm just gonna do the game reviews here, you know, in this regular scenery that I do all of the other videos, you know, the reviews, until in the future I might be able to come up with something better, but I think it's just gonna be easier for me this way, you know. I don't have to go back and forth, you know, because I don't know if you guys know, but I record my YouTube videos in bulk. Usually I record 3 or 4 in one sitting, so I have to go around to different places when I do different backgrounds, so I'm just gonna keep it simple, you know. And also the first time ever that I'm going to be reviewing 2 games at once, you know, because I'm going to be comparing them because I can. They are the same from the same sport, but also they are completely different at the same time, you know. So I'm going to be reviewing NBA Live, well, actually not a specific game, but all of the NBA Live games in general, you know, and as well as the NBA 2K games, you know, because I have played quite a few of them. I started playing NBA Live back in the 17 when, you know, on the Xbox One. I got all of them through Game Pass, you know, and also I got my first taste of NBA 2K back with 2K16 on the PS4. I thought it was really cool, you know, and the latest that I have played is 21, and a lot has changed, but it is essentially the same game, you know. And these 2 games are very different, you know. They are similar but very different at the same time. It's kind of like PES and FIFA, even though FIFA is way superior, you know. PES has nothing on FIFA, you know, and I can still play NBA Live and 2K and still enjoy both of them, you know. So yeah, and I actually have done gameplays of both of them on my channel, but I was waiting to do 2K, you know, to finish it like I did recently so I could review both of them in one go. So yeah, it's gonna be basically trying to pit them against each other and see which one is better, even though I like both of them, but there are pros and cons to each, you know. So believe it or not, there are a few things in the live games that I prefer over the 2K games. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of give you guys a literal review of both of them at the same time. As the title says, it is a dual review, so it's going to be me talking about both games at once, and at the end trying to see which one comes out on top, you know, although it's going to be irrelative at any point.
Say it how you want. Trust the process. Run as one. Call next. Or be the answer. As long as you hold your course.
Okay, so let's get right into it. You know, even though the lighting doesn't really it's not really helping me today, you know. I'm sorry about the possible crappy lighting. There's not a lot of sunlight coming in today. I also didn't even shave my neck today. I'm not looking too good, you know. I'm kind of in a little bit of a rush, you know. I have to record a bunch of videos because I'm falling behind schedule with my content, but it's all good. So anyway, the first thing that I want to talk about is the playability. Okay, so NBA Live 19, the game that I actually played, it is very easy to pick up and play, you know. I was starting to get into basketball when I started to play it and also record videos for YouTube, so there were a few mistakes that slipped by. Like, for example, there's something that irritates me and it itches me, it makes me itch, you know, scratch myself in anger at myself every time I see it. But the uniforms were all, the majority were all red against blue, you know. I didn't really notice that because I wanted to do all of the icon uniforms. I didn't really know too much about how that could work until, of course, I played a little bit more and got into it and saw that different uniforms could be used for different occasions, but that's beside the point. The controls are very intuitive, they're very easy, you know, in both games. So with NBA Live 19, it's more of, everything is more simplified, you know. You've got your little lob passes and ground passes and fancy passes, you know, everything is the same. You can still do your dunks, you know. I do believe that it's easier to dunk in NBA Live than it is in 2K because there's no shot meter, you know. So it's like you can go into the paint for a layup and the ball will pretty much always go in, versus NBA 2K where there's a shot meter even for layups. layups, you know, which can be annoying. It doesn't always happen, but at I do believe when I started playing there might have even been an option to turn it off, but I can't remember if there actually is. But for some of the layups that you do, there is no way for you to turn it off, so it can get a little challenging. But the challenge makes it good, you know. I think both games do present a very decent challenge, you know, in terms of this. When I got into NBA 2K21, but before I started recording videos, it was very good because I already knew a lot more about basketball and I knew more about the players and the actual playability. So the controls don't change too much. They're actually very similar. You know, there are a few different things you can do, but essentially it is the same exact game when it comes to controls, you know, and the way that it handles is very nice, you know. I do have a bone to pick with NBA 2K because of the fouls. Like, the fouls are called much more frequently than NBA Live, you know. Even though there is a way to adjust it in the sliders, it's annoying when you have to like I like to leave games the way they are without messing with the sliders, you know, so I don't really like to do that kind of thing. I like to just play them the way they are. But the overall atmosphere also is really nice, you know. Of course, NBA Live is more realistic because it shows the players actually mingling around, you know. It shows a reporter, you know, David Aldridge actually reporting, talking into the microphone, and even interviewing players at halftime and after the game, you know. During a few moments, it might show a player being interviewed and talking to the camera, you know. So it's very, very, very realistic, you know. But NBA Live does have a little bit does have this little thing that I enjoy more, which is the replays, you know. At the end of every game, they have this thing where they show you the top plays, you know, the MVP, the top dunks from each side, you know, and who was cold, who scored the better points, so assists. So they have like a little breakdown at the end of every video, who's better. And this was lacking in NBA 2K. I think they could have showed this, you know. It would be really nice, kind of like in FIFA when they show you replays of the best moments, the goals and stuff, you know. So I think that they really could benefit a lot more from this. Maybe they have it in the current gen, you know, the PS5 and Xbox Series X. I don't know, maybe they do. But I think that was the one thing that was lacking a little bit in 2K this year.
I'm not bad for me, madman, they go mad for me. Who the f wanna gas you up like you're good enough to be clashing me? Oh, please stop harassing me, charge me up and put gas in me. Them little fish wanna try ting. Oh man, the audacity. I got blood in my inbox, sending me eyes, living on the edge to the end of our lives. Wolf in the sheepskin telling me lies. Sometimes I love so ahead of my time, mainstream boy starts letting off live. We can never ever level in price. Take that fee and then treble it twice. Oh, please stop harassing me, charge me up and put gas in me.
Now, each game does have its own set of customizable options, you know, and it's very interesting because each one offers a different set of things for you to do, and both of them are very unique and fun, you know. For example, in NBA Live 19, you can adjust the camera to show it a little further or closer, you know, court side, half court, you know, in the stands, really far away, really close. You can show it from one side of the court to the other. There might be a way to do this in NBA 2K, but I didn't even bother to look for that, you know. I was okay with the camera that the game actually gave me, the default camera. And you can also change the atmosphere of the actual game in live. You can make it just a regular playoff game, or just or even an NBA Finals, the conference finals, you know. And the atmosphere is really cool, you know. Now, of course, the graphics are a little bit they are inferior in NBA Live, you know. Even though NBA Live 19 and 2K19, they actually look very similar, almost the same. But the overall atmosphere does change a little bit in the 2K games. NBA 2K21 looks a little crappy on the Xbox One, which is what I played it on my channel. But that's because it's on the Xbox One, you know, which is last gen already. So I actually think NBA Live 19 looked better on the Xbox One than NBA 2K21. You guys can feel free to judge that for yourself. Go look at my gameplays later. But I think that they can meet in the middle, you know, in a lot of ways. But of course, the thing that, in my opinion, most makes NBA 2K outshine the live games is the roster. You know, because NBA 2K gives you almost unlimited teams to play with, man. You've got the current teams, you know, in that season that the game comes out. You also have the all-time teams, so you have, like, for example, the NBA All-Stars, you know, from different eras. You know, for example, the Olympic teams, the ones who play in the World Cups or the Olympic Games, you know, a little compilation of different players from across different eras. And also my actual personal favorite, the classic teams, you know, ranging from the 60s all the way to the early, the game that I was playing had, I think, up until the 2016-17 season, some of the good players there, the dynasties. But it's really cool to go back and play with the really old teams, though, which is what I did in my playlist of 2K21. So it felt really, really good in that department for a few different reasons as well. And I honestly think that there's no shortage of teams to play. You could probably never play as all of them because there's just way too much variety, you know. And because I started to become a heavy basketball fan, you know, by the time that I started, it was really, really nice, you know, to get all of these different teams and have different players to talk about. So obviously NBA takes the cake for the roster, no doubt. NBA Live 19 has only the teams for that year, you know. And even though the game is a lot of fun, you know, it does have its own. I played through I forgot what it was called, the One, which is like essentially the career, you know, that you make your own player and get into the NBA. I actually finished career mode, you know, in NBA Live. I made a player who got drafted to the Boston Celtics. You know, he ended up getting the MVP. I got some achievements there, and I am currently playing the career in NBA 2K because I started to play it, but it kind of sucked. But then I like doing NBA 2K on my channel kind of made me want to go back into it, you know. So I am currently playing the career mode, which is amazing. Obviously, this spits on the career mode on NBA Live because it's really realistic. You know, you create a player with very nice cinematic cutscenes. You know, there's a real story being told there, kind of like what they did in FIFA, you know, with Alex Hunter. So The Journey, it's called. So it's really cool. You can make friends and you can even have some relationships, you know. So it pretty much turns into a feature-length movie as you're playing, you know, and the stakes are really high. You start playing in high school, then you get drafted to college, you know. Right now my player is playing for the Florida Gators, you know, and I am waiting to be drafted to the NBA, and when that happens, I'm going to try to see if I can become a legend myself, you know. So very realistic, a lot of emotions. So Live, unfortunately, does not even come close in this department here, and it was nice to play I could make my own character and play street ball, you know, get into the streets, which kind of reminds me back in the days of NBA Street Home Court, you know. So it was really, really nice too, you know. It was really, really enjoyable, and I just think that each game has a lot to offer, you know. There's a lot to offer in terms of customization as well, and I had a lot of fun. I'm actually waiting to get enough room on my Xbox to download NBA Live 19 and play it again because I like it, you know. Obviously 2K is superior, especially if you can play it on the current gen console, or next gen rather. So it's really enjoyable in that aspect. But NBA Live 19 now represents kind of like a nostalgia to me, because if I had started playing NBA 2K and then NBA Live, it might have sucked, but I liked it, you know. It's nostalgic to me, you know, because even though it's limited, and even though there was a time after I finished doing NBA Live 19 gameplays on my channel that I played 2K, I went back to 19 and I had no idea how the game worked anymore, you know. The mechanics were really, really different now, but I really liked it a lot. I love both games, you know. It's not like FIFA or PES, where FIFA is awesome and PES outright sucks, you know. Both games can still be enjoyable, and I like to go back and mop up sports games for achievements, you know, and try to play through franchises, you know, ultimate teams to see what they can offer. So yeah, I think that both games have a lot of variety in this department, you know, the single player modes.
Wherever you call home, whenever you're fit, or however you ball, you're on my court. I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one. And this is my squad.
Now, there are a few aesthetic features that make each game stand out a little bit more, you know. For example, in NBA Live, they have a lot of different statistics that show up on screen. Like when you have a player who's highlighted, who the one you're playing as, you can actually see on the bottom of the screen the FGM, or the field goals made, you know, the percentage of the free throws that he makes, the field goals that he makes, you know, how many rebounds, assists, everything shows up in real time on the screen. And NBA Live, you know, you have to actually press up on the D-pad to see that, but it's just a very small nitpick, you know, but it is a little more confusing because it shows you how many points, rebounds, and assists he has, I believe. Then it says his grade in the paint, the perimeter, the blocks, you know, the steals, a lot of other stuff, and it's pretty okay, you know. There's nothing really too bad about that, but I think that the overall layout in NBA Live is much easier, you know, so it does make sense that I'm going to appeal more to this, you know, but it's just a very small nitpick, you know. Each game has its own little aesthetic, so it doesn't really affect it too much, and in my honest opinion, man, both games are awesome. You know, they're really, really cool. The player likenesses are pretty nice, you know. Like, the character models look a little better in NBA Live 19 depending on how you play it. Like, LeBron somehow looks more realistic in NBA Live 19 than he does in 2K. But then again, that was before the update, because when I downloaded NBA 2K21 from Xbox Game Pass, everything really sucked, you know. But then there was an update that looks like it made everything look better, you know, at least in my opinion, you know, from an aesthetic standpoint. Why the hell is the dog barking outside, man? Jesus Christ. But anyway, so Jesus Christ, these freaking dogs. But anyway, so if I could give these games a review in a nutshell, like, I could say that the series itself could present a very good overall rating. But then again, I did only play these 2 games for my channel, but in general, the NBA Live series as a whole gets a 10 out of 10, no doubt about that. And NBA 2K as a whole also gets a 10 out of 10, both of the series there, because I love them so much, you know. I really like playing both of them, man, you know, and to me, they're just awesome. There's really nothing too bad. I mean, the only thing that's bad about NBA Live 19 is the lack of rosters, but it is still a really good game, you know. It is still really fun to play, and I really like it a lot, so there's nothing wrong with it, you know. There's really nothing that bad that would justify it not getting a 10 out of 10. And because I had so much fun with it and I did a whole playlist on YouTube, you know, it definitely deserves a top rating in my opinion. So there you go. There's probably a few more things that I could say, you know. I think that NBA 2K does get a lot more in-depth. There's much more content, many more features, you know. But both games are very, very fun, you know, especially if you like basketball. And because I wasn't really too big of a fan of basketball when I started NBA Live, it made me really like it a lot. And Jesus Christ, man. What the hell is wrong with these dogs? Seriously? But anyway, yes, very enjoyable games. You know, I might actually have to wrap this up here because the dogs won't shut the hell up. And I had a lot of fun. I had a blast playing through both of them, you know, and they both offer a lot of fun and entertainment, you know, even if you're not a fan of basketball. And yeah, I mean, me, for example, I'm not too big of a fan of hockey or American football, but I am starting to play NHL and NFL because it's sports, you know. It has its own thing to offer, so that's a lot of fun as well. And I guess that's really all I can say, you know. Very nice atmosphere with both games, you know. Scoring really impressive dunks or 3-pointers is really cool, you know. You can actually trigger the replays, you know, to see the in NBA Live 19 you can trigger the replay. You can press a certain button to make you watch the replay yourself, you know. In NBA Live you can actually trigger it to be occasional or frequent or never even happen, you know. So that's also pretty cool. But yeah. But I'll probably be playing more of NBA 2K down the road now because of all the nostalgic teams, the classic ones, you know. So that's probably something that I won't be able to be without for a while. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like this new format, you know, this dual review here, and also that you like the new way that I'm doing the 8-bit Chazzy, because here, this is a tried and tested method. The videos always come out really good looking here, you know, when I do it here in this little background. So I'm going to try to do all of my reviews now, and there is a very good chance I will go back and review old games from 8-bit Chazzy, you know, just to do it in this new style here, and hopefully you guys will like that, okay? And if you like this video, then please give it a like and subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day, and also hit the notification bell while you're at it so you can actually stay up to date with all of the uploads because I do them completely at random every day, okay? And that's it for now. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.
Oh man, the audacity. Oh, it's a catastrophe. I changed the game drastically.